Hey guys, this is a Tracker Grizzly 1754. I'm going to show you how to patch a hole without having to weld. Hey guys, Anthony Jones here with Brigade Boats. In this video, I'm going to show you a way to patch a hole in your aluminum boat without having to weld. Stick around, I'm going to show you how I do it. The idea of this video was actually brought to my attention by a follower on Instagram, had reached out to me and said, hey Anthony, what is your method for patching a hole in an aluminum boat without having to weld? That's what I'm going to show you guys in this video step by step. It's how I do that. Now, I could already see all of the welding gurus and certified YouTube welders hopping on here telling everybody the only way to fix a hole in an aluminum boat is to have it professionally welded. And I'm not here to debate that. Obviously, welding is going to be the best solution. And I've actually got a machine over here and the capability to weld because I welded all of the framing in this boat, which is 1/16 aluminum. So that's definitely an option, but that doesn't mean it's an option for everybody. And at one time, it wasn't even an option for me. So I came up with a method. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video is a viable and reliable method to patch a hole in an aluminum boat, big or small. This method works and it's lasted years, guys, on boats that I've done it on in the past. Now I just weld the stuff, but for video content's sake and to help you guys out from a DIY standpoint, we're going to patch this with the old school method of how I used to do it. Let's talk about the tools and materials to make this patch job happen. Guys, you're going to need a drill and you're going to need a drill bit, which is 3/16. And that's the size you got to have for these rivets. And you're going to need a countersink drill bit. Now, I get this one in particular at Harbor Freight. You're going to need rivets. And these rivets that I'm using are 3/16 aluminum countersink rivets with a grip range of 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. Available on tinyboatnation.net, and I'll leave the link down in the video description. You're gonna need a rivet gun. Now I have this fancy battery powered rivet gun, but as long as you have some sort of a rivet gun, like a little handheld cheapo one, that works just fine. You're gonna need some sheet aluminum for the actual patch. The thicker the better, guys. It could be any kind of scrap sheet aluminum. I'm using 090 scrap sheet aluminum, and you're gonna need 5200. I'm using the old school white regular cure. You could use fast cure. You could use whatever color you want. It does not matter. And then lastly, to make the magic happen, we're going to need some good old Bondo glass. Now you can get this at any kind of body supply or, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, all the big box stores sell this Bondo glass. And there is a 2-part hardener that goes with this that I don't have on the counter right now. But that's all we're going to need to make this patch job happen. Let's get into it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you're going to need some sort of a sander, sandpaper even, a grinder, something to sand this stuff down and clean up this aluminum to get it prepped and to sand down the Bondo glass after the fact. Now, let's get into it. First things first, guys, I'm going to clean up around the outside of the hole and the inside of the hole using this battery-powered Ryobi with 60 grit. The hole is all sanded, and as you can see, I give myself a lot of area around here because once we patch it from the back side, I want to be able to recess my rivets and then kind of cover this area in that glass and then sand it back smooth. So it's important to sand this so the glass has something nice to stick to. And on the inside, I do the same thing because this patch is going to be covered in some of that 3M, and we want to make sure that the 3M adheres to the patch itself and then to the aluminum inside of the boat. And this is sanded with the 60 grit, and then that's unsanded, and you can kind of see the difference. Super smooth, slick, and this has some good roughed up material for that 3M to bind to and get some bite. Now this patch is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I like to just give myself enough room to cover the hole, and then we're going to drill some holes. I want to get my rivets kind of close around this hole, and you're going to kind of see how I do it here in a second. But that's about the size of the patch that we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill my holes. I drilled that first hole and then I stuck a rivet in there to hold it in place temporarily while I lined up and drilled my other holes. I like to get about 1/4 to 1/2 inch off of my hole. I don't want to be too far out, but I also don't want to be too close. So for eyeballing it, that's pretty daggone good spacing. Now what we're going to do is clean everything up and start gluing. Now that everything's sanded and prepped, what I like to do is take some 50-50 alcohol and water and just kind of clean up the working areas, get all that residual dust and funk off. And we're going to do that on the inside as well. And then we're also going to do it on the patch itself, particularly on the inside. That's what's important right now, because we want to make sure that 5200 has a nice, clean, scuffed up surface to bite to. And this is that countersink bit all cleaned out. What I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and pre-drill my countersink holes on the outside of the boat hole. Next up, taking that 3M 5200 and just kind of going around that plate, just eyeballing inside those holes to overlap where that hole is in the boat. And I'm about to stick it and then rivet it. Now, it's very important to make sure you remember which side is down or up. Now, on mine, I've got this red marker as being down on this plate, so I know my holes can line back up. Remember, we've got good clean surface, and now it's just a means of putting that patch in, lining up the holes, which is easier said than done. All right, meanwhile, on the outside, it's gonna look something like this. We're gonna go ahead and do this first rivet and then try to manipulate the patch and get the other holes in place. Take this 50-50 alcohol and water, and what you could do is kind of just mist it, and then you could really wipe up this excess. There you have it, all cleaned up. You really need to get as much of that 3M off as possible for the next step. So it is important to spray it and clean it up. I like to use that 50-50 alcohol and water. It's not necessarily important to get it inside of those rivets, because you're going to see on the next step, we're going to cover all this up. On the inside, that's what it looks like. A lot of that stuff will squeeze out, and I just take my finger and just kind of make sure to go all around the edge. And then I do put a little bit inside the rivet, but you're going to see what we do on the outside tomorrow, because guess what? It's almost dark. And this stuff needs to cure for about 24 hours. We've got nice warm temps here at night, so I'm gonna push it back in the old Harbor Freight tent, call it a day. All right, guys, it's been a couple days. Everything is all cured. Let me show you how it turned out. And from here, you have two options. That's how it looks on the outside. And this is how it looks on the inside. You've got two options. You just wanna get back out on the water and you don't care how it looks, then this is gonna solve your problem. I would recommend getting some of that 3M inside of these holes. As you can see, I wasn't very consistent in doing so, because I am actually going to use option number 2. But again, if you want to just leave it as is and get some silicone in them holes and around them rivets, then this will patch your hole. Now, I'm an option 2 type of guy, which is what I'm about to show you. And option 2 is flushing all this out, making it look all pretty, and then painting over it. Now, this boat is actually about to go to paint, get a brand new paint job on the exterior, and then the trailer as well. Gonna be another showstopper, guys. Option 2 it is. What that requires me to do is I'm about to take a grinder. We're gonna grind some of these rivets smooth, kind of feather this in, and then I'm gonna take some fiberglass reinforced filler, and then put that on there, sand it off flush, block it all out, and then primer it, and then send her off to paint. So let's get started on that. Just using a Milwaukee grinder with a flat wheel on it, and just grinding that smooth. Kind of trying to get them rivets smooth, and even below the surface will be good, so that filler can fill everything in nicely. And remember, I had pre-sanded this before I put it in, and that's so this filler can actually have some bite to that. So it's hard to get in there with a grinder, but I just want to feather that edge, get these rivets flush. Time for filler. Now you guys see when I put the 3M5200 on the other day, I was really careful to clean all of this exterior of the hull off really well and leave just a little tiny bead of silicone inside of there. And that was by design, because that fiberglass reinforced filler is not going to want to stick to a bunch of silicone. So I was so careful as to get the silicone out of this rivet and then take this razor blade and scrape off any excess silicone inside of this cutout to make sure that glass has something really good to stick to and there's no silicone in the way. This is what I like to use for this project and what I've had success with in the past. This is Bondo brand Bondo glass, and it's fiberglass strand reinforced body filler. Now, back in my car modification and body shop days, we used to call this stuff kitty hair. And I guess that's because it kind of looks like kitty cat hair, cousins. But it's got two parts. It comes with a cream hardener. You put it on some cardboard, you mix it up, and then you apply it. Now, this stuff's good for up to 1/2 inch. Of course, we're not going that deep. We're going 0.90, which is the sheet aluminum hole depth. And this is going to work great on that grinded down aluminum that's going to be nice and clean. Stuff's going to bond really well and patch that hole up. I just use the Bondo brand in particular because it's easily and readily available, and you can literally find this stuff at just about any big box store anywhere. Now, there are other companies that make higher end products, and those are harder to get. You either got to order them online or get them at paint and body supply stores. But guys, I'm not building like a $400,000 Ferrari restoration here. We're building a Jon Boat, and this works just fine. Before I do the filler, I'm going to hit it with some denatured alcohol on a rag and just clean it all up. Get all the surface contaminants off, all that dust, all that excess grease or fingerprints. Make sure that that glass has something really good to stick to. It's been about an hour. I let it cure while I did some other stuff. And I'm going to use the old Ryobi with some 60 grit. Go ahead and knock this down for the first sand. Knocked all that down with that orbital sander. Now I'm going to go back over it with some 180 grit sandpaper and a block of aluminum to just plane this out and make sure we get everything nice and flat. And I looked at on this one coat of that fiberglass reinforced filler. Again, we hit it with the orbital sander with 60 grit, and I took that block and planed everything out with 180. And this is what it looks like. And that is good enough for primer. So I'm going to clean all this up, vacuum all the dust, clean it again with either denatured alcohol or 50/50 alcohol water. Get all that cleaned up, let it dry, hit it with some primer. All right, hitting everything with a denatured alcohol. Put some tape over the perimeter. I'm just using some basic, cheap Rust-Oleum primer. Just trying to get this primer over this spot just to protect this spot from moisture intrusion from now until the boat goes to paint in a few days. Got primer on the patch and took the tape off, moved the boat around to do a little videography. And as you can see, you can't really see where that hole was. Now, we're going to sand this right before paint, but for now, that's going to protect that patch. On the inside, I went ahead and put that panel back in to cover up where that patch was. And we're good to go, man. But wait, there's more. I got a little bonus for you guys. This hole here, actually decided I'm going to relocate the bilge pump out location. This is the factory location, so I'm going to patch this hole, but I'm not going to do it the non-weld way. I'm actually going to use my welder and weld a plate in here and grind everything smooth, and I'm going to show you the result on that and then give you kind of my conclusion of what I like better. All right, guys, she's back from paint, and she is a black beauty. We had a hole up here for the through hole, and then we had a hole down here that was patched. Of course, two different methods. And I do apologize, the hole that was up top over here, I patched the night before I dropped it off for paint, and I didn't get any good footage of after that patch, but I am going to show you a photo of it that Josh sent me before he painted it. And then down here, of course, was the patch job we did in this video. here is the back hole patch, and as you can see, that's where the hole is patched, and that is gonna get covered up with HydroTurf all on the inside of the gunnel, so we're not really worried about that. And then over here is where the DIY patch job is, the non-welded patch, which is right about here. And as you can see, you cannot see where either of those patches are. You can see this weld mark, which is actually where I've got that tube in here on this side of the rib, right there where it heated up, but you cannot see that patch, and that's how we want it, cousins. For those that stuck around till the end, I hope you can take something away from the video, and I hope that it can help you out with your own project. Now, I have done this weld patch in the past to reiterate on the El Diablo build, and 3 years later, after that boat being taken to Hades and back and beat to hell in tournament fishing, it is still good to go, and it is not leaking. There's no cracks, and you can't even tell where the patches are on that boat. So I can tell you, if you do it the way I showed you in this video, it will hold up. I know that the welders out there will hate it and they'll critique it, but this is the way that you can do it from a DIY standpoint. We'll catch you on the next one.